Hello everyone! Today I have an example of a persuasive letter for you, which intends to persuade the Prime Minister to abolish all exams. I'll also cover useful tips for writing persuasive letters at the end of the video. This video will be useful for 11 plus students. Dear Mr. Sunak, I am Felix MacDonald, a Year 9 student at Chelmsford County High School. This letter concerns examinations and why I believe it is a stressful, ineffective method of assessing a child's abilities. Hopefully, I will lead you to consider the negative effects that this method may have on the younger generation, and perhaps even to think about abolishing them eventually. My main issue with examinations is the adverse effects that it has on many children's mental health due to the stress it puts them under. As someone who has gone through this multiple times myself, I can say that the sheer amount of times I spent worrying about a mediocre result on a practice paper is simply unhealthy. I believe that a lot of children in this country, who are put under pressure from their parents to attain outstanding marks in every piece of work they do, are missing out on their childhoods. There's also the matter of peer pressure. Whenever I sit tests at school, I'm always compared to those around me. It never fails to make me feel inadequate and dissatisfied with myself. While I wait for a test result, I always wonder if I manage to score more than my friends. If I don't, I brood over it for days. This ever-present anxiety can have extremely serious consequences in the long run. It may lead to kids feeling burnt out, or even lead to serious mental illnesses like depression or anxiety in later life. Aren't rates of depression already skyrocketing among teenagers? I'm sure you will agree that an avalanche of assessments are the last thing they need to thrive. I also believe this method of testing students is ineffectual because there are so many factors that may sabotage a child's performance on the day of the exam. These include nerves, circumstances, etc. A more effective way of grading children would be for their general work in class to be constantly monitored and for a grade to be assigned to them that way. This will not only minimize stress, this will also motivate children to concentrate and to work hard daily, as opposed to cramming facts down the day before an exam without understanding anything. While I understand that in secondary schools, abolishing all tests and exams is not feasible as of now, perhaps you could take steps to abolish major exams for primary school children, such as SATs or the 11 plus for example. In my opinion, primary school children are far too young to be worrying about these serious exams. I have seen firsthand the absurd amounts of revision that some parents force their young children to do. For the 11 plus especially, this creates an unfair competitiveness. If you want your child to go to a good school, you have to have the money, the willingness, and the time to send them to multiple tuitions and to make them study several hours a day. If the exam does not go well, these children are forced to come to terms with an academic failure at the tender age of 10, leading to low self-esteem and demotivation. Abolishing this antiquated and unequal system could be your main focus at present, and then you could later gradually alter secondary school grading as well. In short, these radical alterations to the age-old school system will probably take years to implement, but it's never too late to start. With your careful guidance, the government could transform schools into healthier, happier places of learning. I know that you want the younger generation of Britain to succeed more than anyone, and I truly think this would be a good place to start. Yours sincerely, Felix MacDonald. For the introduction, you don't need to do much else other than introduce who you are and what the purpose of your letter is. You should also outline what it is you hope to persuade the person to do. It's a good idea to include some personal stories and experiences, like how I did when I talked about how tests and exams stress me out. Also, use relevant rhetorical questions, like how I did in this example. Before this rhetorical question, I was talking about the rates of depression among teenagers, which makes it relevant and effective. You should always make sure to offer solutions to the problem, like how I did when I suggested abolishing these SATs in the 11 plus first. Also, use polite, persuasive language, like in these examples. Thank you all for watching. Please like this video and subscribe if you haven't already.